Welcome back. This is your Body Tarot reading with Cara for the week of 4/3. It's Tuesday 4/4, but welcome to the week. It's already underway. It's kind of started off with a bang for me personally. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see what the spread says today. As usual with Body Tarot, I'm diving into practical questions of what energy is present with my physical body, in my activity, in my sleep and rest, in my consumption and nourishment, nutrition, in my play and recreation, what's going on in these critical foundational areas of my life, and what can I infer, what can I practically do for myself to anchor into my body, to relax into her wisdom, and just generally be in as much harmony and alignment as possible. It's a beautiful spring day here in Brooklyn, New York. I hope wherever you are enjoying your day so far, whether it's morning, noon, or night, cold, hot, wet, dry, wherever you are. I'm just gonna give these one more quick shuffle. All right, boom. It's the real deal here. I've got the Bianco Nero Rider-Waite Smith informed deck for suits, traditional tarot. And I also have the Supra Oracle deck by Usi Design Studios. That is a beautiful oracle deck informed by Jungian psychology, as well as some other cool shit. I love this deck. It's gorgeous. It's here with us today. All right, so I'm going to turn the camera around briefly while we do this. Boom. I got my fluorite skull there from Everyday Magic. So, body and movement, rest, nourishment, play, recreation. We're going to go ahead and throw an oracle card down here for each of them. And we are going to get it going. You know what? We're going to turn this. This is fun. Let me just clean the lens really quick. Sorry. Okay. So, first up, body and movement and activity. Oh, hey, look at that stud. King of Wands. Everydayness. Love it. Over here, sleep, rest. Yes, the girlies. Sincerity. Beautiful. This is nice. I'm digging this so far. Consumption. Wow. Okay, we'll dig into that. We got a major. Ooh. Hydrate, bitches. Hydrate. Water and the star, which is like also obviously got a lot of water imagery in it. Play and recreation. My guy. Yes. Yes. Okay, cool. Let's take that into your eye holes for a second. Let just that land for a moment. And dive right in. First up, we have the King of Wands, anchored and informed by everydayness. It might be go time. It might be go time. There has been a sense of liminality, of fogginess for me in the last few weeks of February, going into March, this sort of feeling of fog of war and not really knowing what was going to happen and not really knowing where to put my energy. And part of that was because I actually didn't have very much energy. And so I had to be in this stasis where I really let myself recover and rest. And within the last literally week and a half, I have felt this massive surge of energy, of creative energy. And Wands is all about the creative energy, sex energy. It's actually the same thing. In my opinion, our creative energy and our sexual energy come from the same source, and they can be infused and channeled into everything that we do. So when we are really embodied in our movement as a creative sexual expression of ourselves, it gets really powerful and really fun. And when I say sexual expression, that doesn't mean dressing to be sexy or trying to be actively sexual in a literal way with people. It is that energy of excitement and enticement and desire and enjoyment of the sensuousness of being a physical body and carrying that with you into everything that you do, into your everyday life, into enriching and infusing the little actions with the delicious, fiery yumminess of being the badass boss bitch, babe, bro that you are, that is inside of you. We all have this part of ourselves, and it is a part that comes out when we fully claim and stand in our creative authority and our creative power. So, what could this mean in terms of our physical daily life? For me, this is showing up. This is going to be showing up, or already is. I already started lifting this week, as totally approaching my training as a creative amplifier for these powerful aspects of myself that I'm trying to draw out of me, that I'm trying to build, the qualities and virtues that I'm trying to augment. So, for example, with my strength training practice, which I call strength magic, I am using every workout to embody my higher self, to embody a sense of accomplishment and victory. When we are actively stepping into a frame of being, a frame of mind that is as if we already accomplished the thing that we desire or the thing that we are striving towards, we kind of open up a channel within ourselves to that point in time, in future time. Because all time exists all of the time, right? We're in like this infinite probability field. Everything already exists. Every version of you already exists. And it's sort of a matter of aligning with that version of yourself and creating activities and ways for you to feel already like that version of yourself. And we can do this through very simple, small victories. I'm all about the idea of victory, the virtue of victory, thinking of victory as an actual energy, as an actual state of being that you get to inhabit, that winners don't win because they're like thirsting and needing. They win because like they believe they are winners. And this has to do with like how we self-conceive our identity. When we believe that we're winners and we believe that we have what we need, and we view every single positive thing that we do for ourselves as evidence of our victory and our victorious nature, we start to build a ton of positive momentum, a ton of fire, a ton of passion. So passion is, I think, sort of what I'm getting at here, that everything that you physically do for yourself this week, your training, going for a walk, how you just physically express yourself in your day-to-day rhythms of your life, all of these are opportunities to clock victories, to clock, okay, every moment that I am alive and I am doing my thing is a victory. Every time I am focused on creating my dream life, my highest self, my bringing my desires into fruition, achieving my goals, doing the things that I say I'm going to do, that is an everyday victory. That is fulfilling and proving my kingliness, my King of Wandsliness. All right? King of Wands, baby. Look at that. He's got a sick-ass lion throne. That's the vibe. Okay. Enough said. What's next? Rest and recovery. So this is really cool. We have the Three of Cups. Cups, as we know, is the suit of the psyche, of emotions. I think of this as the suit of emotional feeling, and feeling not just as in our emotions and our moods, but like that deeper feeling, that sensateness to the non-physical dimensions of life. And we're sort of informed here by sincerity. This to me speaks to the deeply restorative, deeply nourishing, deeply regenerative nature of sincere connectivity with people that we love and people that we trust. That by surrendering and being relaxed around and connecting to these people that are the people in our lives, we are rejuvenating this incredibly deep part of ourselves. And that when it comes to our thinking about what rest actually is, yes, your literal sleep, of course. But when we have trouble sleeping, that can often indicate that we are not getting something that we need. And it's like our mind is keeping us awake because it's like, you still haven't gotten the thing that I want. And being that, I feel this very deeply right now, this very deep drive to connect to other people, to see other people, to spend time with other people. And that is something that really helps me feel at ease, which is what helps me get deep rest. So this may be a great week to put just a little extra energy into connecting with your people and into practicing connecting to people in general, right? Like, say hello to people, smile at them, be polite, like go just make a tiny extra effort to be kind and compassionate and friendly to people. And it has such an incredible effect because you're generating love, you're projecting love, and you're going to get it back. And again, it can be very little things like just sending your friend a meme when you think about them, just letting people know that you're thinking about them, that they are in your heart, and that because you are centering your love for them, you're thinking of them and reaching out to them. And like, you're just contributing to the amount of love that is circulating in the greater field of the collective consciousness. So connectivity, baby, that's what it's about. Boom. So over here, we got some more water going on. So not literally the Suit of Cups, but we have the Star. We have the frickin' Star, my dudes. I almost like cry when this card comes up because it's been a while since the Star. And the Star has started coming up again for me recently a couple of times. So seeing it here is really, really beautiful, informed by the literal element of water itself. And we also see, as you may notice in the Star, she is pouring water into the earth and into the river. She's got a toe in the river as well as one on land. So she is connecting the material and the emotional, connecting the spiritual and the material, connecting all these different parts of ourselves. And the Star speaks to hope and beauty and the infinite, constant potential that beautiful, good, healing things are on the way. The wheel of fortune is always turning. The spiral is always turning. We go through dark, dark phases, and we always come out the other side if we can just hang on. And there is a natural rhythm to these cycles that we actually is bigger than us as individuals. And we may go through it on individual levels, and we also go through it on collective levels. And if you are paying attention or you know much about the astrology of the current moment, we're coming out of a lot of big ass cycles of change and disruption, and that's obviously paralleled and mirrored within current events. And just like ask around your friend group and your social group, it's like people are going through some shit right now and are coming out the other side and are like, wow, I've just been like chewed to bits by life, but with this sense that I'm better. I've learned something, and I've learned to look for what is good. I've learned to look around me and not look for what is awful or what is going to reinforce my misery, but I've learned to look around even when I'm in the middle of the fight and go, oh yeah, there's the horizon, baby. I just got to keep going and I'm going to get there. And water speaks to the deep feeling aspect of this. I think on a literal level, because this is coming up in consumption and nourishment, got to mention hydration and sort of the role of that. And hydration has become like actually a very interesting topic, especially amongst more fringe groups and idea realms. But I'm all about fruit. I'm all about fruit. Apple a day, baby. I'm all about it, and I love coconut water. So those are like my main sources of hydration. But so, putting maybe a practical eye on like, it's weather's getting warmer in the northern hemisphere. Am I hydrated? Am I truly replenishing the fluid of life in my body with all these nourishing, rich foods? I've been eating a lot of fish lately as well. And no animal meat but fish, which is a big change for me, but maybe I'll do a video on that another time. Speaking of, so just taking in hydration, I want to talk about something else about water. Water is representative of the unconscious, of the deep, deep psyche, and these deeper parts of ourselves. So when we're talking about nourishment, it is, I think, prudent to look at it from a point of view of congruency with what I think and feel about the things that are coming into me and the effect that they have on me. So I guess I'll mention this. I think one of the reasons that I very sort of abruptly was like, I don't want to do animal flesh in my diet right now, even though I've been an avowed, passionate meat eater my entire life. There is because there was some sort of incongruency that I have yet to clarify about how I truly feel about where it comes from. And I do, I go to the farmer's market for all my stuff. It's like local farms, pasture raised, organic, not, blah, blah, blah. All these things that seem to me like they're probably more ethical and more sustainable. But I don't know. And that part of me is having a hard time with just being a modern human being. Is it's like, I didn't see this animal die myself. I didn't do it myself. So I'm participating in this sacred, incredible offering of flesh and fluid. But it's coming to me second hand, and I don't know or understand its origin. And I think I'm working through some stuff, but there's some part of me that's like, with fish, at least it's a little bit simpler. And fish are a different type of animal than cows, right? Which is not to say they're not living and they have their own form of sentience, and it's still a massive sacrifice. It is. But it's just slightly different in terms of how I feel about it, which is not to say that is like objective ontological reality, right? But the incongruency between what I thought about it, what I felt about it, something needed to shift. And so I was like, okay, let me just change this for now and just let it work itself out. So I think if you find yourself with food and what is going into your physical system, wanting more congruency, being open to that, and trust that shift is sort of being informed by a desire for this like high level alignment that is going to serve you. So you don't need to be super critical or like analytical about it, but just being open to understanding that what goes into your head, like thinking not just food, but like the media that you consume, the news that you consume, the opinions that you consume, that stuff affects you. Actually, as above, so below. You can't feed yourself junk information all day and not feel kind of like shit. So we're looking for congruency here, and we can find congruency by looking toward our highest ideals, by looking toward, okay, like as an imagination game, just as an imaginal line of questioning, what does my higher self do? What the person that I'm striving to be, even if I don't have a clear idea of who she is yet, what does it feel like to be her? And how does she feel about what she puts into her mind, what she puts into her mouth, right? What is nourishing her? So overall, though, I'm just basking in the stars' radiance and this beautiful reminder that if we are also able to nourish ourselves, that is such a gift. And we have so many options. And yes, it can be overwhelming, but really we are so, so blessed. And when you truly start to internalize how like every single thing you eat is a blessing from God, is a blessing from Mother Nature, it starts to shift stuff. So this is something also that popped up. Prayer, say grace. I say grace. I've started saying grace. I've been doing it intermittently for a while. When I was a kid, we did it all the time. And it was the traditional Catholic grace. So I say that sometimes, but sometimes I switch it up. And I saw something on Instagram from an account, Hoodoo Moses, that a beautiful 4-directional prayer grace to do before you eat every single time. And it was like, acknowledge, face, I'm going to get it wrong, face east and thank Creator Source, face south and thank the material world, face west, and I forget, and then face north and acknowledge your mortality. So check out Hoodoo Moses on Instagram. They wrote a whole post about it. It was great, and I saved it, but I have not fully internalized it yet. But this idea of being deeply thankful and present with the blessing of your food and of all the amazing things that we get to like nourish and feed our minds with. It's like so cool. Like there's so much cool information. Read books that inspire you, watch movies that inspire you. And if something is like not doing it for you, if something is not making you feel like you're gazing at the horizon and like the Star of Bethlehem is like guiding you home, turn it off. Fuck that. We don't have time. No time for shitty food, brain food, or entertainment. You're watching something and you're just like not feeling good, turn it off. You don't have any obligation to finish things that are bad for you or that are just not feeling congruent, that are not really vibing with you. Star, water. Play, recreation. My guy, 3 of Wands. Another card that has started to come up a few times. Wands, again, King of Wands, Aries. We're in Aries season. It's a fire season. Wands with the suit of fire, which again is creative and sexual passion. Power. And here we have, I love this card because it's kind of, let me just look at it. The heavens. And this is interesting because look at him. He's looking at the heavens. He's looking up to the sky, which is where humans look when we're looking for answers. We look at the horizon and we look at the sky because we know that the answers to these deep questions that we hold, to our curiosity, to our lust for life, are not intellectual. The answers are not intellectual. They're not going to be found in some neat, easy to digest answer or infographic. It is going to come by contemplating the mystery and engaging with the mystery of life. And when we open up ourselves to creating that space within ourselves, to creating that space within our time in our day, like having a time of day where you know, whether it's when you go for a walk or you meditate on your altar or, stare at a candle, whatever it is that connects you to the mystery, to the feeling of the unknown. And I think that's part of why horizons are so magical, is because we can't quite see what is at the edge of them, because anything could be at the edge of them. And this is coming up in the category I call play and recreation, which just speaks to the fact that we are creatures of joy and we need to have fun, and we need to actually prioritize having fun. And I consider it, the reason I include this in BodyTarot is because I consider fun a critical, essential element of well-being. Beyond almost any, again, there's like the physical, like movement, sleep, food, and fun, baby. And we can fit a lot into this. This can include, social activity, connectivity to other people, sex and romance and partnership, art and engaging with things that inspire us and are fun, right? So again, what I was talking about in nourishment was kind of, these feed into each other, is that what we engage with informs who we are. And so when we are looking to change and grow and nurture ourselves, we need to think higher. We need to dream. And we need to engage with things that help us do that. So I think there's a call here to creative inspiration in your free time, in what you're doing, in your downtime, whatever. For me, it's movies, it's reading, it's conversation, it's learning about the areas of life that I'm just the most curious about. That is really deeply rewarding for me. But I also said fun, and there's a difference sometimes between things that are rewarding and things that are fun. So I think it's also... And honestly, I think I'm laughing because this is something that I still, in the recent past, have had a lot of challenge with, which is just making time for fun. And it's like, what is even fun to me? Like, is it going out? Sometimes, but it depends. And kind of rediscovering like what fun is, and looking to my inspirations to tell me what fun is, to guide me and show me the way. And the 3 of Wands, he's looking outward for inspiration. So this is sort of indicative of being sort of ready to set off on a quest, being ready to like, or he's like already, he kind of looks like he's already left. There's ships also out there. He's got this cool traveling cloak on. So he's like already on the way, it seems to me. And he's gazing off at the horizon, in this case, literally the heavens. So it's like he's looking upwards for inspiration. And there may be a literal, for me, I think I'm going to maybe interpret this a little literally and be like, I need to go hike a mountain. Maybe this weekend. Maybe that's what I'm going to do on Sunday. I'm going to go up a mountain. I think that might be, I think that might be the move. So that's how I'm kind of interpreting this literally. I think that may be fun, inspiring, joyful. We'll see. We'll see. But thinking to the heavens, looking outward, looking upward. There's something there. There's something there. Okay, I'm going to pull a few more cards for a general direction for the week. Again, sort of zooming out, we've got King of Wands, fiery, embodied, passionate, victorious action. We've got Three of Cups, partnership, connection, fun with connecting to people. The Star, alignment with the higher self, a hope, good things coming and bringing congruence between our above and our below. Three of Wands, the horizon, setting off on the quest to find the fun, to find the adventure. So what is... Boom. Boom. Where are we going? Yo! Yo! Oh my God. I was not expecting that. Okay, guys. I thought this would be like a quick send-off, but I gotta talk about this shit for a second. And I need a sip of water. Oh my God. So, change is here. It's already here. There's nothing you can do about it. Even very, excuse me, even very positive change can feel cataclysmic. But it is deeply necessary to bring us to the threshold, to get us over the threshold into the new phase of our lives. And the God, the universe, has a way of sort of, if we're not getting it, of creating a circumstance that will make us get it, that will sort of shake us out of our sleepiness, of our hypnotic rhythm, of the things that are not in congruence and alignment with the person that we are aspiring to be. And these events or these situations, they can feel very jarring and upsetting. Sometimes a tower event is like, again, it might not be a massive, massive life event, but it can be. It could be just an extreme thing that happens one day that like jolts you back into presence and awareness, right? And when I think of those moments, it's like, whew, it brings me back into like an electric presence with like what is going on right now, because right now is all that is going on. Everything else is an imagination. Everything else is in the realm of thought and mind. And then we play a role in calling those things down into physical reality. Jodorowsky described the tower as the cataclysmic joy of being alive, or the permanently unforeseen and beautiful catastrophe, I think. It's something amazing like that. Jodorowsky, the tower, I'll post it in the comments. It's a great quote. And we have it anchored and informed by threshold. So threshold is, this is the unseen moment of invisible intensity that ushers and births you into the next thing. So these feel very similar. And then it could even be like threshold, tower. You come roll out of the tower into the lion's den and you're like, whoa, what is going on? So I want to anchor this because sometimes when this card comes up, I feel like I start to notice it and I see like, oh, wow, there's like some big shit going down in the world right now. So there's sort of a collective feeling of destruction of known structures and architectures and frameworks that, while familiar, also were restrictive to the point of being oppressive in some examples, in some cases. And we all can call to mind easily things that represents to us, or things that represent that. And to me, this speaks to like the nature of the neurotic, obsessive level of control that the modern world has sort of tried to exert on ourselves, on keeping everything so safe and so constricted and so planned and so methodical. And if we can just pull every lever and dial in every single little thing, then we'll be perfect, then we'll be happy, then we'll be whole. And it's like, reality doesn't really work that way. You need a little bit of control, you need a little bit of structure, but too much suffocates. And it's worth being aware and looking at our own lives and asking, like, where have I created so much structure and control that like there's no room to breathe, that there's no room to move or like do something different? And trust that if that thing is sort of falling away, that it's meant to. I gotta pull another like card or two for this, because this, whew, okay. Six of Pentacles. Very interesting. Very interesting. Who else? Who else? This is getting wild, y'all. And Myth. All right, I'm going to put down some of these cards right now. So, Six of Pentacles speaks to, like, he could be like a banker. You know what I'm saying? But he can also be someone who suddenly finds themselves able to share and is doing so from a place of love. And that it is the act of sharing and collaboration that is deeply sustaining and healing to us. We can tap into our collective myths to anchor ourselves in times of stability. Terence McKenna talks about the archaic revival and how when a society finds itself suddenly facing problems that it cannot solve, that it doesn't have the language or the tools to solve, it reaches back in time and looks for the tools that other civilizations used. So for example, the example that he gives is that the Italian aristocracy were like, things are not great. Ancient Greece, how did they do it? And that's why like modern democracy is basically informed by ancient Greek stuff, right? And so we're finding ourselves now in a time where we're having to like reach back even farther in time and rediscover myth and rediscover what these myths tell us and inform us about our own souls and our character and how we want to do things, how we want to show up for other people. I really believe in the power of myths and having sort of figures and stories that you connect to. What is your myth? What is your story that is getting you through this massive transitional, massive phase? Like when you come out the other side, we're always coming out the other side of something, right? But, in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what do you want? What was the story that got you through this? What story did you live through this? What role were you playing? How were you showing up for other people? And how were you taking what was happening and alchemizing it into something that fueled your own growth and that created beauty and hope and a light for others and for yourself? Have an amazing week. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to drop some stuff in the comments. If you want to do a one-on-one with me, there's links to that. I also do one-on-one shorter videos that are more specific to your needs. Check out my various offerings. I'm going to post that Hodorowski quote. Take care of yourself. There's a lot of crazy, powerful energy, and we can harness it. We can stay stable within our hearts, connecting to other people, taking care of yourself. Have a great week.